Balkrishna Industries was the cynosure of all eyes today. Nomura also came out with a rather optimistic note. Given that the Agri tyre exports have shown a very solid uptick, the analysts at Nomura are betting big on Balkrishna Industries, given its specialized niche within the segment as far as the agri space is concerned, and even off-road or off-the-terrain vehicles as well, which is also known as OTR. Let me read out the highlights of Nomura's note. They've said that India's agri-tyre export revenue has sustained a healthy momentum. It has grown about 28% year-on-year in the month of November. This is after logging in a 38% YOY growth in October as well. The revenue from construction and mining, largely the OTR segment which I talked about, that has also recovered by about 2 to 3% YOY versus a decline that was seen in the month gone by, that was the month of October, wherein the industry saw a decline of about 2%. Therefore, the overall tyre export segment is doing fairly well if you combine especially the exports for agri segment as well as for the OTR segment. The overall revenue for export revenue for agri tyres was up by about 19% YOY in the month of November. Even geography-wise, if you look at it, the agri-tyre exports were quite healthy in EU countries. Italy saw 44% growth, France saw a 17% growth, Germany saw a very solid recovery of 13% compared to a negative 3% growth coming in the September-October period. UK, US, they were also up and saw a good momentum. UK was up 4% YOY, US was up a healthy 33% year-on-year. So good recovery coming by in all the key markets that Balkrishna Industries essentially operates in. It has a very heavy exposure to European countries, followed by, of course, America. However, stricter lockdowns in the US, in the UK or the European Union in December-Jan are something that they will be closely watching out for. It could prove to be a near-term headwind as far as the growth momentum goes. But on the other hand, you have a sharp jump in global commodity prices like aluminium, steel, etc. In the past few months, the way the trend has been, that augurs well for an OTR segment player, wherein they expect good momentum to pick up substantially over the next few months. So that is another basket where Balkrishna is poised to do well in the OTR segment. So yes, given all these tailwinds, improvements, recoveries taking place in different sub-segments, OTR as well as agri exports, and in the key markets where Balkrishna has a good exposure to Europe as well as the US, they will be the main beneficiary of the recovery that is playing itself out. Balkrishna generates 80% of its revenues in exports alone. So yes, within the tyre space, especially within the Indian tyre space, Balkrishna stands to be the biggest beneficiary. Like I said, EU contribution is about 50% of its revenues. US accounts for 18% of its overall revenue. Agri tyre again is a segment where they have very strong exposure to. It contributes to about 61% of its overall sales. OTR segment is where it has 35% exposure to. So these are essentially the key trends which have been flagged off by Nomura, which are likely to benefit and fuel growth for a company like Balkrishna Industries. The stock also, they said, is trading at an attractive valuation, and given the strong outlook, high double-digit return ratios, unlike its peers, that is something that makes Balkrishna an attractive investment bet at this juncture. They have retained their buy rating. They have also retained their target price of 1,728 rupees. So there you have it, the key highlights of Nomura's note on Balkrishna Industry. The stock meanwhile settled almost 4% higher.